Paul Orndorff versus Hulk Hogan. The roar of the crowd was deafening. It was 1986 and Hulkamania was running wild. This wasn't just another Saturday night's main event. This was a steel cage match with the #1 contendership on the line. A battle born from betrayal, fueled by jealousy, and destined to become a defining moment in wrestling history. To truly grasp the reality of this clash, we need to rewind the tape, explore the history of these titans, and understand the context of this electrifying era in professional wrestling. Let's get into it. Paul Orndorff wasn't built in a day. Before the roar of the wrestling crowd, there was thunder of the football field. A star athlete, Orndorff played for the New Orleans Saints in the NFL, showcasing the power and agility that would later define his wrestling style. But destiny had other plans. In 1976, he traded the gridiron for the squared circle, starting a journey that would lead him to wrestling immortality. While Orndorff was carving his path to greatness, a revolution was brewing in the WWF. Hulk Hogan, with his 24-inch pythons, infectious charisma, and unwavering positivity, was capturing the hearts and minds of fans across the globe. Hogan's WWF Championship victory over the Iron Sheik in 1984 ignited Hulkamania. He became the face of the company, a pop culture icon who transcended the world of professional wrestling. His message of training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins resonated with fans of all ages, turning him into a role model for millions. But how did these two legends cross their paths? In the golden age of wrestling, 1986, two larger-than-life warriors joined forces to create an alliance that fans thought was unbeatable. The story begins with the mega powers. Hogan and Orndorff, brought together by the flashy Jimmy Hart, were an instant hit. Together, they were everything fans dreamed of: strength, charisma, and a chemistry that made them feel untouchable. In those early days, they stood side by side, winning match after match and thrilling crowds wherever they went. But while the world celebrated Hogan as the hero of heroes, Orndorff's story was different. For Orndorff, life in the shadow of Hulkamania wasn't easy. Hogan got the cheers, the headlines, the championship gold, and even as Orndorff stood beside him, the spotlight always seemed just out of reach. At first, it was a faint whisper in his mind, a question, why not me? But over time, that whisper grew louder, turning into a gnawing jealousy that Orndorff couldn't ignore. And then everything changed. This happened during a tag team match on June 24th, 1986, against the towering duo of King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd. The match was chaos, bodies flying, the crowd roaring, and in the heat of the moment, Orndorff accidentally struck Hogan. Hogan fell hard, motionless on the mat, and then it happened. Orndorff froze. He didn't rush to help, didn't try to save his partner. Instead, he hesitated. The cameras zoomed in on his face, capturing a moment of doubt, a flicker of something dark and conflicted. It was the moment everything began to unravel. For weeks after, tension simmered between Hogan and Orndorff. Fans noticed it, their opponents noticed it, and most of all, they noticed it. Then came the moment no one could forget. It started as a celebration, a routine post-match victory moment. Hogan raised Orndorff's hand in triumph, and the crowd erupted. But for Orndorff, the cheers didn't feel like his. They were always for Hogan, always. And then Orndorff snapped. Without warning, he attacked Hogan, the cheers of the crowd turning to shocked gasps. The punches were brutal, each one filled with months of frustration and jealousy. When it was over, Hogan was left crumpled on the mat, and Orndorff stood over him, his betrayal complete. With the friendship shattered, Hogan and Orndorff were now locked in one of the fiercest rivalries the WWF had ever seen. Fans took sides, some staying loyal to Hogan, others drawn to Orndorff's defiance. And then came the announcement, Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff. One-on-one. Inside a steel cage. Saturday night's main event, a primetime TV showcase of WWF's biggest stars, became the setting for their grudge match. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The steel cage wasn't just a backdrop. It was a symbol of their animosity, a battleground where only one could emerge victorious. On that night, when the bell rang, it was clear this wasn't just a wrestling match. It was personal. Hogan came out swinging, channeling the anger and betrayal he felt after Orndorff's attack. But Orndorff wasn't backing down. He fought dirty, using every underhanded tactic he could to gain the upper hand. The cage itself became a weapon. Both men were slammed into the steel walls, the sound echoing through the arena as fans winced at every impact. Blood, sweat, and pure determination poured out as the two titans battled for supremacy. There were moments when it seemed Orndorff might win. He climbed the cage, fingers grasping the top, victory within reach. But Hogan, fueled by the chants of his loyal Hulkamaniacs, found the strength to pull him back. Near falls, dramatic escapes, and pure grit kept fans on the edge of their seats. And then, in the final moments, Hogan summoned his legendary energy, fought back with everything he had, and climbed out of the cage to claim victory. Hogan may have won the match, but both men walked away legends. For Hulk Hogan, it was another chapter in his legacy as wrestling's biggest hero. He proved yet again that he could overcome any challenge, even the betrayal of a close friend. For Paul Orndorff, this match was career-defining. Sure, he didn't win, but he proved he could hang with the best of the best. His performance cemented his status as a main eventer, someone who could generate heat, captivate audiences, and push wrestling's biggest star to his limits. Paul Orndorff, known to fans as Mr. Wonderful, may have lost the steel cage match against Hulk Hogan, but in reality, he was a true victim of circumstance, a man whose immense talent and hard work were often overshadowed by the Hulkamania juggernaut. This wasn't just a rivalry about betrayal, it was a deeper narrative of ambition, frustration, and the struggle to claim the spotlight in a world dominated by one man. Before stepping into the wrestling ring, Orndorff had already proven himself as an elite athlete. From his days as a football star to becoming a standout wrestler in regional promotions, he embodied strength, charisma, and skill. When he joined the WWF, it seemed inevitable he would reach the pinnacle of success. But despite his undeniable talent, Orndorff's career trajectory often placed him in the shadow of Hulk Hogan. While Hogan received the cheers, merchandise sales, and championship belts, Orndorff was cast as the foil, the villain who made the hero shine brighter. Yet Orndorff's role wasn't just about losing. He brought a fierce intensity to every match, elevating his opponents and proving he could deliver main event performances worthy of any era. The steel cage match in 1986 was Orndorff's crowning moment. It wasn't just a fight, it was a showcase of his heart and ability. Despite being portrayed as the antagonist, Orndorff won over fans with his tenacity and athleticism. Every punch, every slam, and every climb up the cage was a testament to his grit and determination to prove he belonged at the very top. But even outside the ring, Orndorff faced battles that weren't scripted. Injuries, particularly a devastating arm injury, plagued his career and limited his time in the spotlight. He pushed through the pain for years, sacrificing his body for the entertainment of millions. His perseverance is a testament to the man behind the persona, a fighter who never gave up, even when the odds were against him. As we look back on Paul Orndorff's career, it's clear he was more than just a rival to Hulk Hogan. He was a trailblazer, a performer who gave his all for the industry he loved. While he may not have reached the same iconic status as Hogan, his contributions to wrestling are undeniable. He inspired generations of wrestlers who saw in him the blueprint of what it meant to be wonderful. In the end, Paul Orndorff was a victim not because he lost in the ring, but because his greatness was often overshadowed. Still, his legacy shines brightly in the hearts of true wrestling fans who understand the impact he made. If you enjoyed this look back at wrestling history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more stories of the legends who shaped the squared circle. Let us know in the comments, whose rivalry should we cover next?